I've got some news. Hector from Tucson's on vacation this week. I think he's gone somewhere for Easter, maybe to Yuma or Phoenix or Mesa. I'm not sure where he is. Duncan, you'll be in Phoenix pretty soon. Are you going to have a look for him too when you're down there?
I'll be in Scottsdale playing some golf, but
Okay, so keep an eye out.
yeah, maybe.
I know it's hours apart from Tucson, but keep an eye out.
Okay, we'll do.
Okay. Okay. So because he's on vacation, there's no mailbag question. Instead, we're going to talk tools. We're living in a crazy time right now when it comes to AI and online tools and new technologies. It is bonkers. Like you wake up in the morning and look on your phone, and there's 10 new tools that were introduced overnight. And it's like, oh, here we go again. It seems like every day there's hundreds of new tools popping up, all designed to make things easier, faster, and better. Let's go around the table and let's talk tools. Um, I want from you a tool that you've seen or you use regularly or you've tried from like a marketing tool, a content tool, whatever. What's one tool that you'd like to potentially add to your toolbox if it isn't added already? Ian, you're a tool guy. You like a good online tool.
Um,
What's a tool you're either you're using right now or you've seen or you want to try? What are you looking at?
well, one that I actually don't use a lot, but I think that I'm going to try and start using a lot more is Canva. Now, obviously, Canva's been out for quite a while now. A lot of people know about it, and over the years that it's been out, I think that it has developed into a very strong tool, and perhaps when it initially came out, it was quite simple. And if people aren't using it regularly or don't have an account, perhaps they still think that that's where it stands, that it's still quite a simple tool and it's not going to meet their needs. But over the years, they have added a lot of new features. And the reason I wanted to mention it today is just a few days ago, Canva acquired Affinity. And people may not be familiar with Affinity, but they provide a suite of tools which is similar to those that Adobe make. So they have Affinity Photo, which is like a Photoshop rival, and they have one that's similar to InDesign, one that's similar to Illustrator. So now that Canva owns those, or has acquired Affinity, I should say, I think that a lot more fully featured sort of tools are going to drip down into the main Canva app over time. And I think it will still remain, still be very simple to use, but I think it's going to be able to do more and more over time. So my recommendation is Canva purely because if you're not already using it, now is a great time to start. I think that if you start, you'll start to get to grips with it, and you'll see a lot of things drip feed down in the not too distant future, I assume.
And you're right, Ian. If somebody hasn't logged into Canva recently, it used to be like, oh, we use this app as a small business because we can't afford a graphic designer. Go look at it now. It is a legit tool with a lot of really cool features. And to your point about this acquisition, as long as they keep it easy to use, which has always been their MO, imagine the kind of things that they'll be able to do with this acquisition. So no, that's a great tool and definitely worth your time to have a look at if you haven't looked at it or haven't looked at it in a while anyways. Duncan, what about you?
The coolest one that I've seen out there for myself is called Make. It's an automation software. So if you remember, like, I don't know, it's been around for probably 10 years, but ifttt.com, so if this then that.com, it was a relatively simple tool. It kind of got replaced, or maybe it doesn't get replaced, or the upgraded version of it was Zapier, where it was an ability, it was a tool that allowed you to kind of integrate different platforms together to get things done. So if you had a form fill out from a Facebook ad, there was no real way to like get sent an email when that happened. So you could use something like Zapier to integrate this. Make does this kind of on steroids, and it has a lot of integrations with a lot of these new AI tools. So especially ChatGPT. So you can kind of use it to, you send a file to Google Drive, it can splice that file up, turn it into social media, use ChatGPT to make the descriptions for it, post it on socials, and drip it. Like, you can create very complex streams with very simple actions. While it takes time to make these kind of streams of automations, it can really cut down on the time that it takes to do a lot of automated tasks. So things that you do every single day, this thing can spit out good content for social media in literally minutes, from an idea to a completely fully formed social media post, blog, article, LinkedIn update. All that can happen in about 5 minutes, where normally that would probably take you multiple hours. So understanding and then using that platform, like the amount of things that thing can do and the complexities of it is crazy. So for businesses that are looking to maybe simplify operations, that might be a tool to look at. It's also just interesting in general. Like this could be one of those many tools that is going to be potentially replacing jobs, because it can be built so easily once you get a handle on it. But anyway, that one for me has a lot of potential. It is literally like the next generation of that Zapier like product on steroids. And I've only dabbled with what it can do and been pretty impressed. And there's a lot more connections and what's the word I'm looking for? Different
opportunities
websites that can kind of connect to it. That it's going to be pretty important for that automation realm.
AI is kind of that cool shiny object over here that everybody's going for, but to your point, Duncan, workflows should be something that people should be focused on, because you can save yourself a ton of time with tools like Make. I do want to give a quick moment of silence when you were talking about workflow tools. My favorite workflow tool became irrelevant, and it was shut down in August of 2015. The OG of workflow tools, Yahoo Pipes. Let's take a moment and think of Yahoo Pipes. Thank you. Thank you, Yahoo Pipes. For 8 years, you allowed us to connect things together and get confused and figure out why things weren't running properly. But I loved Yahoo Pipes. Great, great app. Not the one I'm going to talk about, though, because you can't find Yahoo Pipes anymore. The tool that has got me interested and kind of amazed is OpenAI's Sora. Sora is not available to the public yet, although I did see that they released it to a small group of creators, kind of filmmakers, to see what they could do with it. It's OpenAI's text to video tool, and the results that I've seen so far, OpenAI has been sharing stuff that they're creating using Sora. Ridiculous, like video quality. Make a video of somebody walking down a street in Tokyo, and then it spits this thing out, and it's like, it looks like somebody made a video of somebody walking down a street in Tokyo. I saw one the other day they did of a waterfall, but instead of water, make it paint, and it looks like there's multicolors paint coming over a waterfall. And it's very hard to kind of determine whether or not it's AI based. I think there's going to be gigantic opportunities with something like Sora whenever it does come to public. I think there's a lot of things that we need to consider before something like this comes out too, because of the ramifications of all of a sudden you can make fake videos about anything. I feel bad, for example, for Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monster, who we've only been able to see them with grainy footage. Now everybody with Sora is going to be able to be like, oh, I saw Bigfoot walking down the street. He went into Walmart the other day. We're going to forget about the lore of Bigfoot and, in your world, the Loch Ness Monster. So I'm concerned about that. But that's it.
I'm based in Vancouver here, but there's a lot of talk that in the next probably 3 to 5 years, things like Sora could take over the movie industry.
Oh, yeah.
You're already seeing like AI models being used for clothing. So the lot of jobs may just be going away, like, because you can make realistic looking people now, even with Midjourney's ability. But there's apps that make like real life photos that look like real people. But they're using those models for campaign shoots. Because you don't need to use real people necessarily anymore.
The physical element doesn't need to be there.
What is reality? But Sora's ability to make videos. Sora just launched, I think, its own movie. I was watching. It's about a guy with a bubble. He's made of hot air.
The balloon head. The balloon head. That was one of the creators that made the balloon head. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, that was. It's pretty impressive that AI could build that. There's a lot of nuances to. I think the biggest thing with AI that's still going to be a challenge, even with Sora, is humans talking or eating. It's always been tricky, and I know they do a pretty good job of it. Hands have also been a tricky thing for AI to depict, but it's just getting so good so fast that I have to see this influencing a lot of industries in the next 3 to 5 years. Movie industry, modeling industry, marketing industry, like all over the place. It's going to be a big upset, and either you get on the wave or you're falling behind.
You mentioned the movie industry, Duncan. I think in terms of things to rival, for example, Pixar animated movies, I genuinely believe that we will see the first AI fully created animated film long before 3 to 5 years. I wouldn't be surprised if it's early next year.
Humans will always be involved, but how many humans have to be involved to create something is going to be drastically reduced.
True.
So, you see all these layoffs happening in the tech industry. A lot of people said it was the economy, but I think the economy, surprisingly, is resilient and doing fine. But I think a lot of the reasons why we saw those layoffs was actually simply due to redundancies and the fact that humans can do more. We have more output now with these AI tools in our arsenal, especially on the coding side, content side. I just suspect that the output is higher for someone who knows how to use these tools. So, we've been looking at that, but understanding how to use AI tools is an asset and will be an asset for quite some time here. So staying atop of that wave, understanding what's out there is going to be really important.
Definitely.
The future is now, gentlemen. I will tell you I've heard numerous people in my inner circle. Now that makes it sound kind of cool, from my family, but I call them my inner circle, that have said like, oh, I saw something online, but I just don't know if it's real or not. Well, get ready, kids, buckle up. Just give it a little bit more time. Yeah. What is that going to look like? Not just in a couple years, but many years from now, where everything you look at, you have to try to determine whether or not it's real or it was generated in some way. And that's exciting and scary at the same time.